Good afternoon and welcome to Channel 44. I am Mercy Gashegu Sembatia to bring you this afternoon's business news bulletin together with Livingstone Kawes, together with Bill Clinton, who is the new face here on Channel 44. Bill Clinton will be taking us into our local news update. You're welcome, Bill.
Thank you so much. And of course, from the Royal Broadcasting Services, and of course, the best name in television. To this new face, absolutely is a face striving to reach the highest global standards of this practice. The face you will see here every day, every time, committed fully to vigorously services and public interest. And on behalf of our viewers, all questions shall be asked and all answers shall be pursued. To rush to our business news, today we have the Honorable Minister Honorable Minister Kasai Snadges 370 billion land deal over Rangos. Following the antecedent brief, Mrs. Zanola Nachibuka wrote to Minister of Finance claiming ownership of the land piece in Chisenyi that the government, through the Minister of Finance, wants to purchase from the city businessman John Bosco Monge. At present moment, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Matia Kasaija, has advised the Kampala City Council Authority that the purchase will only be done after the ownership wrangles are resolved. However, spokesperson of the Kampala City Council Authority, Mr. Simon Kasiante, said wasn't aware of the meeting and wouldn't comment on whether the pending issues have been resolved. In other news, for our business bulletin, former NSSF, the National Social Security Fund boss, dissented with Amongi over money lending claims. Speaking to media today, this Friday, in a select committee, Honorable Minister Mwine Mpaka, the legislator of Mbara City South, queried the current management staff at the National Social Security Fund and former Managing Director Mr. Richard Byarugaba whether anybody at will would give personal statement. Mr. Richard Byarugaba raised his hand and notified the committee of additional allegations against him by Honorable Betty Amongi, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development. We heard from Honorable Amongi saying that the saver monies was being taken and given money lenders in town. Mrs. Byarugaba, however, says, I don't know what powers the committee has, but that disarms that this is a bad campaign. He disarms that this is a bad campaign for him and to his children and to his family. Mrs. Amongi was later advised to have the written responses and handed over to the committee as soon as the team prepares to draft a report of the matter. In the other business bulletin news we have today, we have the traders losses over fire that begat Chisenyi Trading Center Zone 2. Property worth trillions of shillings has been reported perished in a fire that gutted part of Chisenyi area next to Pastor David Shiganda's church in a fire that started at 5 a.m. morning. Among the items that perished include maize flour, maize bran, beans and other poultry feeds. It's suspected that the fire broke at around 5 a.m. and by the time the fire began, the team arrived, it only managed to prevent further damages as other items had been burnt to ashes. Our reporters, meanwhile, security was beefed up and site of the inferno to avoid looting of the fire brigade confirmed that the effectiveness in preventing the fire was calmed. Kampala Central Division Mayor Haji Salim Uhuru is among those at leaders who paid the courtesy visit to the scene of Chisenyi stairs and sympathized with the affected persons. However, Uhuru has condemned whoever is behind this fire outbreak, saying it's an act which is heartless and out of human consideration, that it's not the fire outbreaks, it's not the first time such outbreaks are happening in our city, but has advised the members to take extra caution and report immediately of whoever is responsible of these fires if they have a glance on them. Uhuru further pledged to support these people who are affected by engaging the government to come and support them in any way possible. Meanwhile, the affected people and the residents seem in the state of discomfort, including those who have been left timeless as they described to the government to support them.
We had to use what we had available in the trucks. Now, this place has no fire hydrant. You realize that our trucks, even as of now, are not here. They have gone to refill from our fire quarters. So, as far as I'm concerned, for us, we did not struggle. We used what we could. The problem is lack of a fire hydrant nearby. That's where the problem is. Otherwise, if there was a hydrant here, no vehicle would withdraw to go and refill from where it is refilling right now. Yes. So we had vehicles here of varying capacities, from 1,500 liters of water to about 11,000 water tank. Okay. There's a vehicle which you saw here. It carries 11,000 liters of water. See? So, and as far as the operation is concerned, our operation has been organized on insufficient water on what? From the hydrant, or lack of the hydrant nearby. That's what the challenge is. We had to use what we had available in the trucks. Now, this place has no fire hydrant. You realize that our trucks, even as of now, are not here. They have gone to refill from our fire quarters. So, and as far as the operation is concerned, our operation has been organized on insufficient water on what? From the hydrant, or lack of the hydrant nearby. That's what the challenge is.
Tono teriwo kuba abantu abaliwo babigere kuba wetaaga okulwanyisa omuliro guno tugiyita structure fires tetugirwanyisa ngo ogulengera bulengezi ogulwanyisa ogutuuseeko kati oba togutuuseeko kiba kitegeeza togenda gulwanyisa era engeri gy'ogenda okukwatamu ogenda kuleetera obuzibu ubere nga tosobola kuzikiza bwengaki ng'omuntu fabricate ne bweneetuuka ng'enda emmotoka 100 naye nga tosobola ku accessinga amazzi gajja kukoma ku mabaati waggulu kati mugulaba kukyala lwansonga ebyo byonna bisaana kuvaako nga tewaaliwo nteekateeka nga bazimbawo ennumba eno tugiyita cocktail of different sources eziyinza okuvaako omuliro kuba bw'otunulira ebiriwo nabyo byennyini bisobola okwekuma omuliro byo kati tuyita self ignition or spontaneous ignition byo byennyini nabyo bisobola okukuma omuliro ng'obitaddeawo biri mu kika kyataaba buli mu kika kyekyo kyonna ebyo byonna bisobola okukwata nga tubikoze eki obukuta bw'emmwanyi bwonna babulina wano nabyo bisoboka naye era tetujjaawo nti n'omuntu omutima omubi naye asobola okukola ki era tetujjaawo nti n'amasenzi nga bwe mugalaba nago gasobola okukola ki naye nga possible causes eziriwo n'abantu bennyininyini obulagajja bunene kuba buli mwaka
soose sigo okubiri sigo okusatu. So muntu yenna abadde ayagala ekifo kino yanditudde n'abatuuze okusinga okujja n'ettima n'okwokya maali yaabwe mashini zaabwe. Ero kiseera abantu bayiya ssente, bantu baavu badde basasula rent, ekifo si kya bwereere. So omuntu yenna avudde azze n'ettima yaffe tugenda kukunga abantu baddeyo bwe bavadde. Era nkubidde Prime Minister ne Minister wa disaster bajje bayambe abatuuze baffe ba mu kisenyi tu.
Kandi tusoose tugoba mu kisenyi ne batugamba tebatwagalamu. Naye nga n'abatwokya babatubba tulina kye tulina kati tugenda kudda watojja Kampala batubba bubbi batwagaza kibandi tugobye mu bulungi ne tubiraba ku mawulire ku TV. Gavumenti etuyambe tusaba ndifa abantu bawansi tugenda kuddawa twapulondo tubezeza ffe tugenda kola tutya bannange kati nina omwana wange kati ngenda kola nti mama nandaba nkoze ntya bannange nkoze ntya mutuyambe abantu bawansi.
Tusiridde wano mu kisenyi nga bw'olabira ddala tetulina we tugenda kubeera, tulina kyakulya, tulina buli kyemu. Alala batubbi abadde befuula batuyambako, teri asigaza kantu.
Omuliro gwaka nnyo ng'omuliro nga mungi naye emmotoka era zaakajja zituuke zaakatuuka ssaawa zino zennyininyini naye omuliro mungi nnyo nnyo gwokyezza obuwunga ebijanjaalo kasooli byonna biyidde abadde emmotoka emunayo yakutte omuliro obugaali bw'abantu buyidde
tusaba gavumenti nga yo
Remind you about the graduating series of Makerere universities that has started today and is ending on Friday of the 18th of this month. And to continue with more of our business stories, we shall have the fuel prices introduced to you, and then we can have Mercy Sembatia for the international business news.
Thank you for watching Channel 44. I hope you enjoyed Bill Clinton with our local news, business news segment. Well, in our international news, the U.S. Commerce Department is restricting 6 Chinese companies tied to the Chinese Army aerospace programs from obtaining U.S. technology without government authorization. The move comes after a Chinese balloon suspected of carrying out surveillance flew over the United States last week, raising political tensions between the world's 2 largest economies. U.S. fighter jets shot down the balloons with American officials, which American officials have since claimed is a part of an extensive surveillance program run by the Chinese military. The 6 companies support the Chinese government's modernization efforts, specifically those related to aerospace programs, including airships and balloons, and related materials and components that are used by the People's Liberation Army, PLA, for intelligence and reconnaissance, according to the Commerce Department's Bureau of Industry and Security. The 6 companies are Beijing Najiang Aerospace Technology, China Electronics Technology Group Corporation 48th Research Institute, Dongguan Lincoln Remote Sensing Technology, Eagles Main Aviation Science and Technology Group, Guangzhou Tianhai Xiang Aviation Technology, and Shaanxi Eagles Main Aviation Science and Technology Group. The inclusion of the companies on the Commerce Department's entity list sends a clear message to companies, governments, and other stakeholders, a clear message that the entities on the list present a threat to national security. Moving on, Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba has sold its remaining stake in Paytm, India's top digital payment app, as it gradually divests from its Indian investment amid friction between Beijing and New Delhi. Alibaba.com, Singapore E-commerce Private Limited, sold 2197 communications, according to the parent company. Heathrow Airport has recorded its busiest January since the start of the pandemic, with 5.4 million passengers traveling through it last month. The latest figures are still below the 6 million people that passed through in January 2020, but Heathrow boss John Holland-Kaye said it showed the airport was back to its best. It comes as more than 3,000 people 3,000 workers are to be balloted over strike action. The Unite Union has warned any walkouts could lead to disruption at Easter. Some 17,458 flights are scheduled to depart the United Kingdom airports during half-term, according to data from Cirium, which tracks flights, but overall departures remain 19% down compared to the same period in 2019. Cirium said departures were up to 43% on last year's February break. It added this showed the continued recovery of the air travel industry, which was grounded during the height of the pandemic. A proposal to ban TikTok in the United States should be looked at, according to U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer. He said they do not know there is Chinese ownership of the company that owns TikTok, and there are some people in the Commerce Committee that are looking into that right now. U.S. lawmakers Marco Rubio, a Republican senator from Florida, and Angus King, an independent from Maine, said on Friday they had reintroduced new legislation that aims to ban TikTok from operating in the United States unless it cuts ties to its current owner. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, one of the most valuable private companies in China. U.S. officials have raised concern that China could use its laws to pressure TikTok or ByteDance to hand over U.S. user data that could be used for intelligence or disinformation purposes. Those worries have prompted the U.S. government to ban TikTok from official devices, and more than half of U.S. states have taken similar measures, according to press analysis. Workers at a South California Medieval Times have walked off the job and went on strike before their second performance on the day Saturday, according to the union. About 25 of the 50 workers in their bargaining unit walked out at the Buena Park location, according to Erin Zapsisi, who is the lead organizer of Medieval Times performers in the United States. Medieval Times has not responded to numerous requests for comment. The show's cast of knights, squires, and stable hands voted to unionize 27 to 18 last November and joined the American Guild of Variety Artists. Well, that brings us to the end of this afternoon's international business news segment. I now present to you the forex rates. Look at how the dollar is performing against major world currencies. We'll return after the break.